Hey, it's me, Life Coach Ray, coming at you live once again. How are you doing out there, everyone? I hope each and every last one of you all are doing well. I hope each and every last one of you all are doing strong and better than ever this time around. No doubt about it. I know I am. All right, before we get started, take a second and go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Like this video, go right ahead. Before we dive into anything, I would like to make a brief announcement. If any one of you all want to become a business partner with me, uh, learn a little bit about the prepaid legal field or dive deeper into that, want to get protected in that area, please go ahead and hit me up. Whether you're interested or not, I just want to show you a little bit of something. So, and this is a paid sponsorship with prepaid legal. So, let's dive right into today's tutorial. Today's tutorial is how to build a reward staking pool, all right, and an ERC20 token. So right now we're looking at the staking pool contract here. As you can see over here, we're on something called Remix. You can pause this video right here if you're not familiar with Remix, and you can go right ahead to the Remix Ethereum website. All right, as you can see off to the left, the green check mark there is compiled. Also, it can be made into a one-click dApp. Very good. And we'll go ahead and click it again just to show you. It's a compiled contract. Yep, just got through doing it, working on it for quite some time here. But anyways, at the top here is a license identifier. So my T license, we're open source. Anyone is free to copy it, use it, trade it, do whatever you want to do with this tutorial. This is definitely a tutorial. You guys, so use it for your educational purposes. I should say, there's no financial advice given here. Definitely not a financial advisor. Try to focus more on the technical side of things, and that's how we keep it very educational here, I should say. So first we got the Solidity 0.8.0 contract. It can use 0.8.0 compiler or higher. I may adjust it to just only use 8.0 compiler later on, but for the tutorial, this is fine. We're going to use an interface on top of this contract, and this interface will give this contract some ERC20 functions, such as the transfer function, and the users will just put the address they want to transfer to and how much, and it will be transferred. And the balance of, they want to check the balance of, this is a readme function. They just put the address of the account and it will read me to them. All right, so let's dive into this staking pool. Make this bigger. All right, let's dive into the staking pool here. All right, we got the contract. It's called staking pool. It's pretty good. We're gonna address public a staking token, the owner, the rewards amount, the rewards interview, the last rewards time. All right, then this contract, it will map the address of the token, which is the stake balances. All right, and it will also map publicly the staking times. Both of these mappings will be public. These two events will be called when the function down below is called, staked and withdrawn. All right, and these events will go down. If you want to dive deeper into this contract, take a closer look at this contract. It will be posted on my GitHub, github.com, and I will post a link for the GitHub down below. github.com/jellychain1. Jellychain number 1. All right. So for the constructor here, once the contract is deployed, it will automatically address the staking token and the reward amount and the reward intervals. These are our parameters we will enter before you deploy the token. So we got staking token. It will check the staking token to make sure it's the staking token. It will check the message sender to make sure it's the owner. The sender of this contract have to be the owner. It will check the reward amount, make sure it's the reward amount. The reward interviews, make sure it's the reward interviews. And the block time, it will check the last reward time and make sure it's that is it. FYI, for your information, anytime, and this is universal for not just Solidity, but for JavaScript, for Python, for any language, when you see this one equal sign, that means it's checking for something. If it's see two equal signs back to back, then that means they should be the same, equal. So that's just a little fun fact in the middle of our tutorial here. We have a modifier here. Modifiers are like putting a padlock on your contract function. All right, and this modifier will require that the message sender be the owner. See here where it has two signs, two equal signs. That means the message sender needs to be the owner, equal to the owner. The owner and the message sender is the same person. And if it's not, it will give you an error message here. Only the owner can call this function. We have a staking function here next. Function to stake. You will put the amount in you're trying to stake. This function is called externally. This is our first function on this contract, by the way. It will require that the amount be less than 0. If not, it's going to give you an error message say amount must be greater than 0. It's going to require the IERC20 staking balance of the message sender be greater than or equal to the amount. If not, it's going to say insufficient balance for the error message. After it run all them checks, if everything go well, everything pass, it's true, it will update the rewards for the message sender. IERC20 staking tokens, they will be transferred to the address here, this contract basically, the staking tokens, and however many there's coming here. The stake balance will be, it must be greater than or equal to the amount of stake tokens, pretty much. Stake rewards, the reward tokens. And the staking times here, it will record the staking times for the user, and it will emit the stake to the message sender, the amount. All right, the next function here, I know it's your favorite function. Yep, to withdraw. This is how you get paid from this smart contract. So here you will put in the unit 256 amount that you want to withdraw. All right, and it's going to require that the amount be less than 0. Otherwise, it's going to require that the amount be greater than 0. Otherwise, it's going to give you an error message saying it must be greater than 0. Then it's going to require the staking balance of the sender be greater than the amount. All right. If not, it's going to say insufficient stake balance. Unit 256 unstake time. They're going to check that to make sure it's the staking times of the sender plus the unstake lock-in period. All right. Which is 72 hours. All right. Require the block time to be greater than or equal to the unstake time. Unstaking is locked. if it would be the error message if they try to pull something before the unstaking period is over with. After all of these checks are ran, if everything go through, it will update the reward to the message sender. All right, which is the owner of this contract, by the way. Stake balances of the message sender. The message sender here will be the person calling the withdrawal, by the way. Then it will reset the staking. Stake balances. It would must be less than or equal to the amount, and the IRC staking 20 will be transferred to the message sender plus the amount. All right, and then it will reset the staking time allowed users to stake again. This one actually, the staking times will be reset basically back to 0, and then it will go ahead and let you withdraw. It will send the withdrawn amount to the sender and the amount. Let's go to the next function here. The next function is the update rewards function. This function, you will put the address of the account. It's like an internal function, you guys. They'll put the address of the account that's trying to be updated, and internally it will check unit 256 current time, the block's timestamps. It will check the current time, the rewards amounts, interviews, and it will check the 30-day staking period if it's over with for the user. So if the staking time reward is less than greater than 0, it will go ahead and check and make sure everything's right. If the time, say like they went in here and tried to unstake before 30 days, they can get their unstaked amount back. They can get their staked amount back, but they will not get any rewards, basically. So if you want to get your full rewards from this pool, you will have to stake for the full 30 days. All right? And it will record the last reward time. It must be greater than or equal to intervals passed times the reward interval. All right, and our final function here is to get the staked balance. This is a readme function. You put the address of the account you want in there. This is external, and it will return the staked balance. All right, and this is your staking pool. It's pretty cool, y'all. Let's go here to Binance Scan here. Show you the contract is here on Binance Scan. This is the testnet. Anytime you're working with something new, you're experimenting, you might want to try the testnet. They give you free faucet, BNB, Ether, depends on what blockchain you're on. We're currently on BNB blockchain, BSC Scan. Where we're at, and you're looking, your contract will only look like this if you have this green check mark. And the only way to get this green check mark is to verify your contract. So once you deploy your contract, it will show up on the BNB looking something like this. And that's all you will see. All right. When you compile it on your Binance Scan here, and if it compiles on Remix, it should compile on here too. Once it compiles there, it will look like this. You will see a readable contract, basically. And it's everything we just went over. So let's go back to Remix here. And let's go to our token real fast. Check out the token that we're going to be staking. This token, just like the staking pool, is using the MIT license, open source license. You're free to copy, use this token, keep it, do whatever you want with it. Same Solidity compiler version, 0.8.0. And this contract is called My Token. It's going to string the name publicly. My token will be publicly displayed. The symbol, the decimals, and the total supply will be publicly displayed. All of this information is Binance Scan information, by the way, where it would go there on, all right, publicly. Privately, only you can see the total supply, all right? Actually, I have no idea why that's like that. So let's go ahead and fix that to be public. Yuppers, it's still compiled. So we're going to go ahead and map the address here of the unit. This will be private. Only you can see the balance that's mapped. It will map the addresses. This will be private. Only you can see that. Then it has two events as well, transfer and approval. These will be called when certain functions are called. All right. And the constructor. So when this token is deployed, listen at me. When this token is deployed, we'll go ahead and string in the memory the name and the symbol. These will be displayed on Binance Scan and the decimals and the initial symbol. And these are also parameters that we will enter in before we deploy the contract. And then when the contract is deployed, the constructor will know exactly what name to put there, what symbol, and how many decimals, and the initial supply is actually manually decided. All right. So that's up to you. Totally up to you. Name, symbol, decimals, initial supply, and the total supply will be assigned to this contract. And the first function will be calling the total supply. This is a read-only function. When you call this function, you don't have to put in any parameters. It will just call it and it will return the total supply. Function, balance of, you want to check the balances of it. This function is a read-only function as well, but this function you will need to put in the address of the account that you want to check the balance for. Looking good there. And then it will return the balances. Transfer and transfer from. The transfer function is you want to transfer ownership of this contract. Just send it to the address you want to send it to and how much. You don't have to send the whole contract. You can send some of it. And then it will go ahead and transfer that. Okay? Transfer from, you want to take it back from somebody you just gave it to. You can do that. Or you can just send it to another person after you took it from there and put it there. You know, you took it from Joe and gave it back to Timothy or something like that. You can do stuff like that with this function here. And it will transfer it from address to another address and the amount. And this will require an approval. All right. Speaking of approval, we have a function to call the approve. You put the address of the spender and how much you want them to spend to approve. And this is an external function. And it's pretty cutthroat. The next function is allowance. It's very similar to the approve function. You call this function, put the address of who you want to allow to use this contract and the address of the spender. These contracts here usually go when you're working with a third-party application or another contract here. Like, for example, these tokens, oftentimes they have to work with other applications, other dApps. Maybe they have to work with the liquidity pool on Uniswap or SushiSwap or somewhere else. You know, these tokens here have to have an allowance, an approval function, and you were given an allowance after that. After you approve it, you will give it the allowance. So these are two functions you will have to call in order for it to work on somebody else's liquidity pool or something like that. And a lot of times their protocol will have it already set up for you to automatically approve it, pop up. A lot of times it's just a signature. Sometimes you never have to usually pay gas. But sometimes this one is not going to require gas unless you are making some kind of change on the blockchain. So the final function is an approve function. This approve function addresses the owner, spender, and the unit 256 amount. All right, and this one has an allowance built in. All right, and this is for the owner and the spender. All right, and it will emit the approval. And that's your token there. Let's go to BSC scan real fast before we get out of here. And we look at our token. And we see our token here on BSC scan. 1 million MKT tokens. Just like before, this contract is verified. You can tell because it got the green check mark. And clearly can see your contract here on BSC scan. Very good, y'all. If anyone want to dive deeper into this, you want to learn more about Solidity, about smart contracts, staking pools, ERC20 tokens, please feel free to contact me. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Share it around. God has a message for you. Goodbye.